In case you missed it, here's Dave and Cheryl's favorite moments of the week.
Some things that are going on. Movie news. The Super Mario Brothers movie. My daughter actually went to see this on the weekend. More on that in just a moment. Super Mario Brothers movie is wildly popular right across the world, officially accomplishing what no other animated movie has done since the pandemic began over 3 years ago. It reached $1 billion globally at the box office.
Not surprised at all.
The Nintendo adaptation hit marks the start of the fourth weekend in theaters, so it's been around a month or so, adding an estimated $37.5 million from North American theaters, along with an estimated $69 million overseas. It's the 11th film in animated history and the first of the 2020s to reach $1 billion, passing Minions: The Rise of Gru, which became the highest-grossing movie of the post-shutdown era. So Super Mario Brothers movie, not surprising, it's a huge franchise.
Oh, it's massive. And your daughter went to go see it as part of a birthday party on Saturday.
She went to Galaxy Cinemas Chatham on Saturday. It was about 10 or 11 kids there, had a great time. She just loved the movie. Raving about it after I picked her up. And picking her up was the thing. So I went to get her around 4:30 in the afternoon. I went around to the party room where everyone was, and her friends were there. And I went, and I could not see Molly. I could not find her. I was like, okay, well, maybe she's in the bathroom or something. I stood around about 5 minutes, which seemed like about an hour, because I didn't know where my daughter was after I dropped her off a couple hours prior. So I'm like, okay.
Starting to panic.
It's starting to panic a little bit. It's starting to set in, and the moms, the parents that were there kind of overseeing things, they were talking with somebody else. So it's not a huge deal. I'm not in much of a hurry. So, okay, I'll just wait.
You're not panicking, but you're starting to worry.
Internally, I'm panicking a little bit, but I'm trying not to show it. And so I don't know how many minutes go by, and then all of a sudden, one of the kids that were right beside me looks up and says, "Oh, you're here." And it's like, oh, okay. Yeah, I'm here. I'm not sure who you are. Because they were all wearing masks. I forgot to mention that part.
They were wearing Mario masks.
Mario masks.
From the movie. Okay.
Yeah, foam masks. Okay, whatever. And so I looked down and said, yeah, I'm here. Nice to see you. I don't know who you are. And then she takes the mask off. It's my daughter.
Oh. Okay, so I understand you not recognizing her, but you didn't recognize her voice either.
No, I didn't. No.
Or what she was wearing? Apparently you weren't paying too close attention to what she was wearing when she left the house.
So in my defense with that, I was on location at PV Bar.
Okay, so your wife dropped her off.
So, yes. So I wasn't quite sure.
You didn't see what she was wearing when she left the house. Okay,
right. I wasn't thinking about that. So, yeah, she was right beside me the entire time. She also didn't notice I was there for about 5 minutes because I'm standing by these group of kids.
Okay.
She was talking, having fun.
Sure.
So she didn't notice me either, and I was not wearing a mask. But anyway, that was something. That was a bit of heart palpitation moment for about 5 minutes on Saturday.
Well, now we can joke about it.
But the Super Mario Brothers movie doing very, very well and probably will continue. And if you're a fan of Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune, they're all coming together soon.
Yeah, so Jeopardy co-hosts Ken Jennings and Mayim Bialik. Yeah. I always mess up her name. Along with Wheel of Fortune co-host Vanna White are going to be competing on Celebrity Wheel of Fortune. In a sneak peek of the episode, apparently they try to solve a puzzle to hilarious results. So Mayim incorrectly guessed funny meeting you here before dramatically leaning over in defeat. Ken swooped in for the win. He guessed fancy meeting you here. So he said there may be two hosts, but they work together like that. It's very wonderful to see.
The mashup will air on the 10th of May, so a week from Wednesday that will air if you like those two shows. What would you pick? If you had to pick one of those shows, what would you pick?
It depends. Are we on Celebrity Jeopardy? Because I feel like the questions are a lot easier.
Oh, I see. All right. There's more depth to Jeopardy. So
Can I compete on the teen tournament of Jeopardy?
That's right. So watch for that. It's a mashup with the Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune. That's set to air 1 week from Wednesday, the 10th.
And now it's time for...
1, 2, 3, 4.
It's random.
Is that a fact?
Is that a fact?
4 random facts.
Just to instill a little bit of wisdom in you on this Tuesday morning, did you know the first ever jukeboxes came with earphones? So one person could listen at a time. They probably were giant earphones.
Oh, yeah, they were those huge cans.
They probably weighed as much as a jukebox did.
Probably.
Yeah.
Did you know melting an ice cube in your mouth will burn about 2.3 calories?
So that's all I have to do. How many do I have to do that to make it worthwhile and not go for a walk?
I don't know if that would if it is worthwhile considering the brain freeze you get doing this.
And you wouldn't be able to feel your mouth for days either. Is this true? Women are attracted to the scent of Good and Plenty licorice and cucumber. Now, I don't know if that means together.
I was going to say together? Like I need to have a cucumber and Good and Plenty?
That sounds kind of disgusting.
I don't like licorice, though. Like black licorice? No.
No, that's gross.
I like red licorice. Black licorice? No. Go away.
All right.
I'll give it to somebody else.
Doesn't work with Cheryl. Did you know scientists also believe that octopi, that's the plural for octopus, I believe. Mm-hmm. Anyway, they are as smart as dogs are.
You know what? I believe it. I've read some interesting stories from scientists who work with octopuses or octopi.
Yeah.
And I remember there was one that I was talking about where all of a sudden they got hit in the back of the head with like a piece of shrimp. They were like, what? They had fed the octopus.
Okay.
And one of the shrimp was bad. The rest were fine. One was bad. And he opened up the thing, threw it back at him, and then closed the top.
Saying, this is bad, don't feed this
So it just they said it proved that the octopus could escape if it wanted to, but it didn't because it knew that, it had a nice safe home there and got fed on a regular basis.
Here comes a new trend in pets, apparently.
Today's
1, 2, 3, 4.
4.
So random.
Give the public the facts.
4 random facts.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Makes me feel good.
It just makes me feel good. Makes me feel good.
And now,
Good news.
it's time to put some good into your morning.
And our good news story today revolves around a dog that literally saved its owner's life, but not the way you would think. A woman in Wales named Lucy potentially only had a few years left to live when she decided to take a trip to the beach with her partner and their 2 dogs. And thanks to a chance encounter with a stranger who was chosen by one of the dogs, her life was saved. So Lucy had been living with lupus for more than a decade and a half, and that's when her kidneys started to fail. So in 2019, she was told she might only have 5 years left to live if she didn't get a transplant.
So Lucy and her partner planned a 2-day trip away with their 2 Dobermans. They had the names Jake and Indy. And while barbecuing near the beach, Indy kept going over to a woman on the beach nearby and just wouldn't leave her alone. So Lucy went over to apologize and met Katie, who they invited to join their barbecue.
So the 2 started talking, and Lucy mentioned that she was waiting on a kidney transplant, and Katie was like, hey, I just registered to be a kidney donor.
Oh, my goodness.
We should see if we're a match. So they went and got tested, stayed in touch. It turns out they were a perfect match.
Oh, my goodness.
And doctors say the odds of finding a perfect match, 1 in 22 million. And it's all thanks to the dog, Indy, the Doberman. So the surgery was delayed because of the pandemic, but it happened back in October. And apparently there was a few complications, but it's a success now. And they're both living their lives. And I guess, did the dog just knew? You're the perfect match to my mom, and I'm going to annoy you because I think you're her.
I wouldn't put it past the dog to know that. That's mind-boggling, but so fascinating. Incredible.
Of all the people on the beach the dog could have run up to, they chose her.
Unbelievable. You can read a little bit more on that story now under the good news section of our website, and more that you might have missed over the past few days, including yesterday. Finally, a 91-year-old can retire. Read more on backstories. Good news file at country929.com. How many tabs do you have on your computer screen right at this moment?
So I just counted. And I actually had to reopen one because I closed the tab that had this story in it by accident.
How ironic is
so
that?
I reopened it. I have 17 tabs open on my computer.
So right now, the morning is wrapping up. The show's got a few minutes left. I've only got 4 open right now.
Oh, okay.
But compare that to about 7 o'clock this morning. I think I had about 12. So things are rounding down a little bit.
Well, I have them in 3 different windows. So there's not more than 5 in a window. But it adds up to 17.
But that's still a lot. That's still a lot to keep track of.
Yes.
So really, there's a study out there saying the more tabs you have open on your computer screen might lead to less healthy mental status.
Mm-hmm. 1 in 4 people apparently feel stressed when their computer is cluttered. And that can lead to things like being forgetful. Apparently, their concentration will lapse when interesting things appear on screen and you start following links and collecting tabs. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the number of times I've opened a tab for a story, I'm like, I'll read that later, and then I never do.
Multitasking can also lead to having trouble completing tasks. As you mentioned, the activities pile up and you can forget some things. This also probably goes to a number of things that are on your desktop. probably sort of related as well, because there's a lot of cleaning that goes on your desktop for mental health.
We all know that one person who you look at their desktop and the number of icons saved on the screen is just mind-boggling. And you're like, how do you find anything here?
And they're in no order. It's like just a jumbled mess on the desktop, too. So setting a maximum number of open tabs can help if you are organized like that.
Well, that's why I think I have mine organized. There are 3 separate windows, 5 or 6 tabs in each window, and they're sort of grouped accordingly. Like all my social media is in one tab.
Right.
All my different news websites that I follow for breaking news, that's in another.
And it makes you feel better.
Browser window.
So put your mind more at ease. All right. So now I'm down to just 3 tabs after this.
Now is the time.
And now it's time for...
Are you kidding me?
So for you and me, Mike,
yes.
we have been working pretty much in office the entire pandemic, right?
At least parts.
Yes.
Doing the shows from here, I got it cushy, really. I've really got it really easy because normally in the afternoon I'll do the show from here, but I'll do all my office work from home.
In the morning, before you come in. Now, how much of that work are you doing from home from your bed?
Oh, 0. No, 0.
Well, maybe you should rethink that because more than a third of remote workers say they're typing away in bed for about an hour a day.
I don't mind that. I'm not even mad about that.
This is according to a survey of about 2,000 employees who work from home. 55% of those who recently moved say they did so in part for a better home office. More comfortable, right?
I guess. How productive are you being?
Now, the average remote worker spends about $1,700 of their own money to try to work more comfortably. But there's a lot of perks of working from home, right? More comfortable clothes. You don't have to commute anymore. You can work on your own schedule. Mm-hmm. And they say working from home has really evolved from makeshift workspaces using countertops, bar stools, to more thought-out home office setups that can rival even some of the best corporate offices. According to a guy from the Home Depot, he says they have a lot of people coming in and building sort of a nice little work-from-home setup. But about 55% of them, or more than a third, say that they are, still in bed while they work, at least for an hour. So I feel like they get up, just kind of sit up in bed and open their laptop and start working right away.
Home office, definitely. I just need a little bit more structure than just opening up the laptop in bed. That seems like that.
I feel like you want a separation from bed and work.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'd be falling asleep.
Exactly. I'd have my 3rd nap of the day. When was the last time you took a ride-sharing service, like an Uber, that kind of thing?
Oh, it's been a while. I think when I was visiting friends out of town, we took one somewhere to go to a restaurant because the parking situation was a mess. So,
ever leave anything in it?
No, thankfully.
Uber has released the annual list of items people have left in their cars. It's got some pretty odd stuff in it. Some embarrassing ones and just some head-scratching items. Case in point, the most unique item probably on this list would have to be a Danny DeVito Christmas ornament.
Oh, no. How are you not calling to try to track that down if you lost it?
Can't replace that. Other things include a toy poodle, a fog machine.
Like the actual poodle, like an actual dog?
Probably, I guess.
Or a toy, like a stuffed dog.
I would think if it's on a weird list, it's probably an actual poodle. How about a fog machine or an ankle monitor?
Ooh.
It gets even weirder. 16 ounces of fake blood, a printer, and even a Statue of Liberty green foam crown is on this list.
Well, that might make sense if you're in New York City. If it was somewhere else, though, that's a little weird.
How about another one? How about a slushy machine, a power of attorney document issued by the Turkish consulate, and a whole bunch of other, maybe more common items you would leave behind, like phones and backpacks and laptops, watches, that kind of thing. But some odd ones, too, left by people in Ubers. The annual list of people leaving things behind, and I'm sure you know with taxis and everything else, or if you're just getting a ride from somebody in somebody else's car, you're just leaving things behind all the time. But some pretty strange things thanks to that annual list from Uber. I was this minute years old when I just found out there's so many Fast and Furious movies that have been made. Like, I saw one, and you're telling me that they're in production of making their 11th movie?
Yeah, so the 10th one, Fast X, is coming out May 19th, and there's already a sequel in the works, and that one is set to come out in 2025.
I saw the first one at Chatham Cinema 6 in whatever year that was. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I ever saw a follow-up to that. Maybe I saw the sequel.
Well, there's 10 of them now, and if you like the Fast and Furious series, there's a website that is offering to pay you $1,000 to watch all of them and then take notes on all the car crashes.
So they want you to compile all the car crashes across the 10 films that are out there now. Just $1,000. That seems to be a little bit low for me. But Finance Buzz announced it is seeking a, quote, Fast and Furious claims adjuster to watch all the movies, including the upcoming Fast X, as Cheryl mentioned, and track the damages from all the car crashes that you see on screen.
So apparently you're going to have to note any car accidents that result in damage. Because, I mean, how many other vehicles do they end up, like, sideswiping?
Right.
And all the accidents and the extent of the damages and what cars are involved. And then they're going to use that data to try to estimate the insurance impact of the franchise's reckless driving.
Just seems like a reason to get together and watch a whole bunch of movies. The chosen candidate will be paid $1,000 American for your efforts, as well as $100 American to cover the cost of streaming the first 9 films and then going to see the latest one, Fast X, in theaters.
Considering there's 10 movies, I feel like $1,000 is a little low.
I think so, too. I think that should get jacked up quite a bit. Applications are still rolling in, and you've got, 2 weeks to do that. You have until May 19th on the website financebuzz.com, and you must really love the Fast and Furious movie. Highlighting some of the interesting criminals that grace our planet from time to time. Adding an extra check bag to a flight. We're actually going to be doing some flying a little bit later on this summer out east to the Maritimes. And we know that flying is not a cheap venture.
Oh, definitely not.
So just imagine how much these things must be worth on the black market, including this item. A couple from the U.S. flew to Israel last week and were caught trying to smuggle 375 pounds of Fruit Roll-ups.
Of all the things I thought you were going to say, cocaine,
Didn't
booze,
see that coming, did you?
Fruit Roll-ups.
Roll-ups. So, TikTok is obsessed with almost everything, right?
Yes. You were telling me that apparently people in Israel are obsessed with this TikTok hack where you wrap up a scoop of ice cream in a fruit roll-up.
Yeah. So they're harder to find than usual, especially overseas. So thanks, TikTok, for creating shortages on certain things, including Fruit Roll-ups over there. Pretty much all stores in Israel are sold out because of this, wrapping Fruit Roll-ups around a scoop of ice cream. Actually, I'd try that. I'd go for it.
Yeah, but I wouldn't pay $5 for a fruit roll-up to try it.
Right.
But that's what people there are paying, apparently.
Not per box.
Per fruit roll-up.
Per fruit roll-up, which should be what? A number of cents.
Yeah, normally you can get like a pack of 10 for $3 or $4, maybe.
Customs agents in Israel have seized the snack. Somebody posted a video of many suitcases filled with nothing but fruit roll-ups. The guy told them he didn't even pack clothes. He's going clothesless just so he would have room.
Well, he could buy clothes with the fruit roll-up markup money he's getting, right?
This is not just a one-time thing. Another American couple were caught with over 70 pounds of fruit roll-ups the other day. Israel says they've seized more than 660 pounds total.
Wow.
Recently.
Didn't realize it was illegal to have fruit roll-ups, but I guess maybe if you have like a box or two, that's personal use.
Last time I had a fruit roll-up would be about 1990, I think. It's been a long time.
Yeah, elementary school.
Yeah.
Hey, moving sometimes, that's a stressful situation. And in our second story, a guy had the added stress of being evicted. This happened down in Atlanta. A few weeks ago, he's being evicted, and this moving company showed up with the cops. The guy didn't hire the company. They were part of the eviction services team. But when the cops left and they were like, here's the guy, they're going to move your stuff out for you. And they're like, okay. So the cop leaves. Things got dark. Oh, 3 of the movers approached the guy, pulled a handgun, and said that they could take whatever they wanted.
Oh, no.
So they loaded the victims' TVs into their vehicles and took off. Police are still looking for the men. You literally worked with these guys, and they can't find them now. They have photos of 2 of the guys. And all 3 are now facing charges of robbery with the weapon. So to make it even worse, they didn't even help him move his stuff first. They just took what they wanted and left, and then he was left to move the rest of his stuff. So
guys need to lighten up a little bit. Have a fruit roll-up.
You've been listening to Dave and Cheryl's favorite moments of the week.